after years and years of putting it off, I'm finally starting it. So, hello YouTubers, and welcome to my review of the Product Enterprise 12-inch RC Daleks. Alright, so this is the genesis of the Daleks Product Enterprise RC Dalek. Now, this was introduced later on when they re-released Wave 1 in the new packaging. If you want to find out more about that packaging, then watch part 1 of the previous video in this series of the Product Enterprise 12-inch RC Daleks. But this one was added in, and this is one of the few Daleks in Product Enterprise's line of RC Daleks where the mesh section here and the slacks are actually a different colour from silver. They're actually moulded in grey. So that is great that they've got that correct in that, because it's based off the Genesis Dalek design. And how can you tell this? Well, mainly because of the darker colour scheme compared to other ones. It's interesting because the 6.5-inch talking Product Enterprise Dalek was based on the Destiny design. So it's interesting to see that this one here, the RC one, is actually based on the Genesis ones. Now, this is actually one of the few Product Enterprise RC Daleks that I actually got brand new back when it was released, back when you could actually buy it from the shops. And this particular one I got from Forbidden Planet for Christmas one year. What year? I can't remember. But yeah, let's take a look at him anyway. So, we've got the eye stalk, which is, again, these are all the same moulds as each other, but it's silver and it's got the blue hemispheres or slacks going down here, which is great, because that is obviously correct. And that, now, the eye stalks should technically be grey at the end point here, though I'm assuming that it was probably to keep costs down and it was easier to mould it all in one piece in there. And then the eye is black, which is correct, and it is slightly indented as well, which is great. It's not just something painted on at the end, has a bit of a ridge just here where it's slightly indented. And you've got the iris and the pupil, which looks absolutely excellent. It looks exactly like they did in the episode. And also, the iris and the pupil neck seems to be, I don't know if it's a separate piece of plastic that's stuck on, but it has a slightly different texture to the rest of the eye, so who knows. We've got the dome lights as well, which are really good. They look exactly like the Mini Cooper ones, for the fact that they have the ridges on the inside. That is great attention to detail, and also the shape of them looks absolutely great. Now, the LEDs inside are actually red, which is incorrect, but it's the same with all the Product Enterprise Daleks. I don't know why they went for red, really. I'm not quite sure. To be honest, I quite like it, because I always liked Daleks that had red or orange dome lights and that, but it's weird that they're all moulded in this clear plastic. Taking a look at the rest of the dome, it is just moulded in this grey plastic, which is in a sort of matte finish. It's got a smooth look and feel to it. Again, we've got the mesh round here, which again looks really good. I do like this much darker colour scheme, it looks really nice. And now let's take a look at the mesh and the slacks. Now, again, it's the same moulding, but the fact that it's done in this dark grey moulding is really nice. I mean, technically, they could have just, left it silver if they really want to, and that's because, well, that wouldn't be too apparent, though I think with this one it would particularly stand out, considering the entire Dalek is in dark colours, grey and black. Now, if we take a look at the gun and the plunger, we've got the gun here, which is moulded in black, which is correct, and we've got the circle in the middle, which is correct. It's It isn't actually raised out, it's just a groove that is moulded around there. Also, the ball joint of this Dalek is black on both of them, and it isn't just my one, it's all of them. And the plunger again is the same sculpt and that, and it's made to look like it's telescopic, but it's obviously not. The black ball joint, that could be correct, I can't really recall off the top of my head, though I know a lot of them, most of them, the ball joint for this was silver. So technically they could have just left it silver rather than painting it black. Because I believe this sucker arm probably is all one piece. Possibly. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, taking a look at the base, you can see here we've got black hemispheres. And all of them are in the same sort of matte black. The same as the base. Apart from this one here, which is glossy. Which I'm assuming it might have been a mistake on my one. It's hard to tell in the light, but this one hemisphere here is glossy, whereas all the others are a matte black. So that is interesting, the fact that it is that colour. And on the bottom here, we've got the battery compartment and the on and off switch. So let's put some batteries in this Dalek and let's get him moving around, shall we? Alright, so he's got some batteries in him. These take 6 AA batteries and that, and the remote takes 9 volt. Let's make sure it's switched on, and let's extend the aerial not quite all the way. We'll send it about that much. Again, here are those remotes, and all of these Genesis Daleks had purple remotes. I believe they were all 40 Hz. I believe they, rather than character having like a batch of Daleks that were 14, a batch that were 27, I believe they Product Enterprise just colour coded them. But anyway, let's make him move around. Again, he just talks when the dome reaches this little latchets on him. Again, his voice seems a bit lower, which actually is quite fitting. Quite fitting for these guys, since they did seem to have a lot deeper voices. And the extermination sound effects, which isn't correct. Okay, so there are the sound effects again, if you've already heard them enough times, but yeah, let's get on to my overall thoughts on this Dalek. Alright, so what do I think? He shrunk. Oh wait, no, he's over here. Yeah, just to compare, here is his little brother, the micro talking Dalek, as just a little size comparison between the two of them. You can really see the size difference between them. I mean, in terms of other, comparison that's compared to, he's slightly shorter than a character options Dalek, simply because of mainly the fender being thinner. But overall, what I think of this Genesis one, well, I absolutely love this one. It is probably one of my favourites. Out of Product Enterprise's Daleks, this is probably my favourite one, and it's probably one of my favourite Dalek toys in general and that. I mean, this literally comes just behind the voice interactive Daleks. The voice interactive Daleks win because of the sheer amount of features, but in terms of overall look, I really like the way this one looks, and obviously I've had this one for over a decade now. I've actually owned this for over a decade, and I remember on Christmas Day opening it and being how excited I was to actually get one. So, do I recommend this one? Well, absolutely. This one isn't too difficult to find, because he was around again right up until the end, basically. Once he was released, and that he must have been more popular, or possibly more recognisable because of the grey colour scheme. Because obviously most people think of, either in the classic series, they either think of the grey Daleks or the silver Daleks, basically. So it is really nice to have this one, and especially his little brother as well. But hey, just get one. Just get one. I've got two. Yes, I've got two of that. Though if you didn't see my Doctor Who items to unbox one, I did get a second one of these. But this is my original one, who is still in perfect condition. Isn't he lovely? Also, just one last note on Product Enterprise Daleks here. If you want to keep them in a good condition and you don't want, say, the motors in them to break and that, and you want to avoid some of the issues that Product Enterprise Daleks generally do have in breaking down, then keep them in a cool and dry place, because they don't like warmer temperatures. You know, just, I mean, personally, these ones I keep at my grandparents' house in a walk-in wardrobe cupboard. So yeah, that's where they'll be staying, and they have stayed for yet many years. I mean, the JSS one has been there pretty much all its life, and so has the movie Dalek, right at the very, very back there. And they're all still perfectly fine, still perfectly working, so it seems to work with them, and hopefully if you get one, it should work with yours. So yeah, just a little word of advice there. Alright, now this is obviously the Imperial Dalek from Product Enterprise, but this one is sealed up in its box, and it's the only one I've got, unfortunately. But since this is just a repaint, and so are all the others, there's not a lot to say about. In fact, there's not a lot to say about all of them, because they are repaints, but hey, I can still find the work somehow. So anyway, let's have a look at him in the best way that we can. Let's see if I can get a bit more light on him. Oh yes, there we go. There we go, a lot more light. This way, if I just actually just hold my phone up at him. So you can see that they've painted it in actually the correct ivory white, the entire Dalek. So that is something I can give a positive about him straight away off the bank. And also the sort of coppery sort of gold colour, the more bronze-ish type, looks really good. I mean, you can see there on the neck section there, and also the eye. While it's hard to see it on camera, they've given it a white iris and a gold pupil, unlike character options, who gave theirs a blue iris and a blue pupil for some reason. Now, admittedly, it should technically be chrome, but you know what, white, that's close enough, and it's a lot closer than what character options did. So to be honest, yeah, I'll let them off with that. The dome lights, however, are incorrect. They're still the Mini Cooper dome lights, which again are incorrect. They should be the flatter ones, where the light is a sort of disc around the outside. Unfortunately, they haven't done that, but they've got the colours correct, at least. The colour of the eye being completely gold, and also the plunger and the gun being completely gold as well. There is no cutout in the plunger, though, no cutout whatsoever. So it's just completely circular, and it's not the correct sort of funnel shape, so that's unfortunate. The hemispheres are white, and the base is the two-tone white as well. Also, there is a circle in the middle, rather than having a hexagon. Again, they're just working with what they've got. All the sound effects of this Dalek are the same. And also, this one was exclusive to the Sci-Fi Collector when it was originally released. So this one is a lot harder to find than, say, the 6 key silver, which is just above it. Which is, why it's a lot harder to get, and why I don't want to open this one, because they are pretty difficult to actually find and to get your hands on. I mean, overall, the Imperial Daleks, I'm not a massive fan of the Imperial Daleks. Look, I don't know. It's just something about white Daleks that I'm not the massive fan of. Saying that though, I am a massive fan of Remembrance of the Daleks, so it is nice to have an Imperial Dalek in the collection, and he does stand out a lot compared to the other Product Enterprises ones, simply because of the colour scheme being obviously this bronze gold and this ivory white colour, compared to the others being blacks and greys and silvers. And this one really does stand out among the crowd, and was one of the later, well, I'd say later, mid to later ones added to the line. I believe it came about either just after or around the same time as the Genesis one, so yeah, that's that. But overall, again, there's not a lot to say about him and that. I mean, there's not a lot to say about any of these, other than they've done the best they can. Also, the slats here, it's the incorrect number, and unfortunately they've got the bolts on, which they shouldn't have. And also this Dalek, since it's using the same moulding, the skirt of the Dalek is too wide. It should be a lot steeper. But unfortunately, I can appreciate them, working with what they've got, because there isn't like a flip-flop of, oh, we had this but we're not using it. It's very clear that they only had pretty much this one Dalek mould, and they just have done the best they can with it, so I can appreciate that, and it is a nice enough Dalek nonetheless. Alright, and here we have the Day of the Daleks Supreme Dalek. Now, my one that I got, as you can see, there's a few markings on that off the dome. I did try removing them. Unfortunately, when I did try removing them, it actually removed a bit of the paint, so I'm just leaving it as is. I mean, I'm happy enough to even have one. But yeah, let's take a look at the Dalek Supreme from Day of the Daleks. So this is a different type of gold than, say, the movie Dalek that Product Enterprise released. This one seems a lot darker than that one, and but let's start with the eye as ever. The eye is exactly the same as all of the other Product Enterprise Daleks, so there's nothing really to say about that. It's exactly the same 5 discs and that, same pupil and that. There's nothing really to say. This section of the eye should be gold here, up to about here. But again, they're using the same mould with all of these, so, keep costs down. The dome lights, again, Mini Cooper ones that have the ridges on the inside look excellent, but they'll have red LEDs in them. The bronze, or the gold, they've got, I'd say it's pretty good. Maybe a bit too dark, to be honest. I think really it should be not quite as light as, say, the Supreme Dalek from Daleks Invasion Earth, though I'd say maybe a tag lighter. I don't know. It could just be me. But here's where the Dalek has gone wrong, and where pretty much not a single one has gotten right. The fact that this section here, all of it, that should be bronze. All of it should be bronze. Now, Couch Options got this wrong. I believe Eagle Moss got this wrong. I don't know if there's actually a single one of this Dalek out there that actually has gotten this right, but this should not be black. It should be bronze, or a darker gold colour. The mesh should not be black. It should be gold, or a sort of bronzy gold, but it should not be black. Also, the struts and these neck bins here, They should all be gold as well. They should not be silver. Why have they done this? I don't really know, to be honest. I don't really know, because they, with the Genesis starting that was all grey, so I don't know why Product Enterprise did it with this one. The belt is silver. Again, it should be gold. There's a silver band here. That should be gold. So it's not doing very well so far with accuracy, this one. This one is probably one of the least accurate ones, and it's such a shame because they have the correct body here. This is the correct Dalek sculpt. So I don't know why. They've left the gun as silver rather than painting it gold either. Again, a bit odd, although that one a little bit more understandable, I guess, since they can just reuse bits. But again, considering the plight of the Dalek Supreme Dalek, they put so much effort into trying to make that one at least the correct colours. I don't know why they didn't do it with this one. The hemispheres, at least, they are correct. They are glossy black, which is correct, unlike the Genesis Dalek, where the hemispheres were a max black for some reason. And the base, it is a two-toned base sculpt, although it is all one piece. It's not shiny at the top and matte at the bottom, or vice versa. And you can see it's on the wheels and that on the bottom. And we've obviously got the articulation with the plunger and the gun, and everything else is the same. To be honest, this one is disappointing. To be honest, it is disappointing. What it is, I still like it, because despite, actually, I do think the silver on that does make a nice contrast in colour, though I can't look over those inaccuracies, and it is, I don't know why, Product Enterprise did this. I mean, at the end of the day, it's probably a cost-saving measure. Also, this should be gold as well, the circle. It's probably a cost-saving measure, because that means that they can use the slats, because the slats are silver on all the other Daleks, apart from the Genesis one and the Imperial. And nearly all the guns are silver as well, again, apart from the Genesis and Imperial Dalek in Product Enterprise's line. So, yeah, it kind of makes sense with this, but I just feel a bit disappointed with this one, because it could have been so much better in what it is. But let's just do a quick comparison to the Genesis one to see how they look together. Alright, so here's the Genesis one and the Day of the Daleks Supreme. And just to prove that this is a second one that I've got, for one, the gun on this one is straight, and also this one does not have the glossy hemisphere that my other one has. But yeah, just comparing, the two. I mean, it does look nice together and that, but again, it just, something about it isn't quite right. And also, the people that do seem a bit too large for this guy. It should be a bit smaller, but that's something less of a quibble, because, all of the eyes are like that, despite it. So at least it's got the correct iris and pupil and that. I mean, character options use the same sculpt for all of theirs, so I'm not going to nitgrit on that, but yeah, little bit disappointing. But just before, move on and everything, let's see him in action just for the sake of it, eh? Show you how to get into a Product Enterprise remote, but you need to take it apart. You just heat up the panels on the side. You can see I've removed that one already. Just heat them up with a hairdryer. Leave a distance about an inch or so away. Just keep heating it up, and then eventually you'll be able to just pull it off and unscrew the screws and get it. Alright, let's see it move then. Maybe not. Are you joking? Oh. I've literally spent ages trying to get this to work again. Yeah, this one is nearly dead. And unfortunately, when trying to take him apart, I broke this off, unfortunately, for this review, yeah. This happens nearly every time now, and unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to get a new one because... or retrofit him or something, because he's just not working properly nowadays, unfortunately.